This is LinkedIn Live, right?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LinkedIn Exchange series with Qween. This is a LinkedIn series where we exchange thoughts, ideas, and insights of experts across industries. Today, we have a very interesting topic. It's about strategies for women to excel in boardroom roles. And for that, we have none other than Divya Momaya, who's a founder of MentorMyBoard. And that's exactly what she does. She trains and promotes uh, leadership trainings to directors, independent directors, women directors, startup directors, and aspiring directors to make them boardroom ready. So, Divya, we are very excited. Divya is also a great friend. So, thanks for coming. We would love to hear about your journey. Just a little bit of a background and brief bio about yourself, please.
Thank you so much, Neha, for inviting, and kudos to you. You have been doing wonderful work in terms of diversity. So, if I talk about myself by profession, I am a company secretary with now 20 years of experience, and working with boardrooms always. I mean, I saw there was huge gap. Especially when we talk of the mid-sized boardrooms. Even when we talk of women participation in the boardrooms. And just to give brief background about women on the boardrooms, till 2013 nobody was talking about women in the boardrooms. Only capable women, there were 7% of women participation was there in the boardrooms. But 2013, when the act made it mandatory to have women directors on the boardroom, lot of companies started having women on board. But again, at that time, what was happening is all the promoters were bringing in their wives, their sisters, their mothers, or some relatives on the boardroom who were not practically present in the boardrooms. And that's how SEBI came out and said in 2017 or 18 that you should have one women independent director on every listed company board. And I think that was a trigger point where a lot of, the complete dynamics changed, and a lot of women have been now coming on boards. And I think this is now, a lot of things have happened after that. So today we have close to around 19% of 19 or 20% of participation in the boardroom. But yes, we have a long way to go still further. And now, after 2017-18, I created Mentor My Board because I saw there were a lot of gaps. And we've been working last 5 years consistently in upskilling, grooming women, men, all directors for boardrooms. We create the community. We have been on a mission to build a community of 100,000 directors in India.
I think it's a
That's a small
brilliant
journey.
initiative. Yeah, I and you're doing some amazing work there, and definitely like 19% is way too low. And as you go up the ladder, we know the ratios. Like they are as for women, especially leadership roles are. Li- Women in leaderships are very less to be actually be seen,
Yes.
and that's why we need such initiatives to actually make an impact. So thanks so much, and we really appreciate the kind of work that you're doing. Now, for women to actually become boardroom ready, right? We understand there must be a lot of challenges that they face. So could you just share examples in terms of what kind of challenges and how can these be tackled for them?
So I think the most important part, when we talk of women in the boardrooms, it goes into two sections. One is the women executive directors, and another is women non-executive independent directors. So when we talk of women executive directors, usually it is, through promotions and through escalations, and that I think that area, we still have a lot of more challenges because
Right.
not many women are, reaching at the top level, and right, there is a leaking bucket at the top. As you move higher, the participation of women in the workforce is really low. And I think that also is because when the career is progressing, exactly at the same time your family is also progressing, your parents are aging, your kids are growing, and that's where a lot of women drop out, because the work pressure also increases at the senior level. So that, those are definitely the challenges. But when we talk of the non-executive part, uh, again, upskilling is something, or capability building is something which we really have to work a lot. Especially, I'll just give you example. uh, One of my, client, and she came out and she said that they were in our company, when I gave a presentation to a a girl she was chartered accountant. She has so much of understanding. She has prepared everything. But when it was told to her that go and present it to the boardroom, she said no, and she passed on to a male counterpart, right? So the confidence at that level is something still a challenge. So I think there are multiple challenges when I usually see. Number one is the willingness to upskill. A lot of times we go into so much of routine, kind of our work, and we create some glass ceiling around us that no, I don't want to do that, I can't do that. And that's where breaking the glass ceiling or breaking those barriers in our own minds is very very important. And even if finance minister when came to women directors conclave last year, she mentioned very very clearly that there are a lot of hesitations in the minds of women about legal processes, the legal liabilities which may come up, the financial acumen. So I think these are the areas where women really need to kind of upskill themselves, make themselves board ready, and then enter the boardrooms. So yeah, again 19% to equality is again a huge gap where we all are working together. So challenges are, challenges are somewhere in the mind. We simply can break them and move forward.
So, like you rightly said, that some of the challenges are within us in terms of can are we
Absolutely.
enough to do it, and some definitely social barriers which do not enable us to. But
Yeah.
I think with some initiative, like definitely the event that you did last year, please, I mean that was one of the biggest events that I have myself seen. So I think that in itself is inspiring for women to actually get motivated and start initiating into that direction. So
In fact, I'll tell you the story
yeah,
behind that event. In February 2022, I read an article where finance minister had made a statement that she doesn't find capable women directors who are ready to join boards. And at Mentor My Board, we had already been doing a lot of initiatives for women, and we had done women directors conclave in 2021. And I reached out to her saying that we would be really happy to have you there and share your thoughts and inspire and motivate those women who have a lot of willingness, who have the capability but who really don't know how to do that, and why they are not able to come up. And to the our surprise, to our pleasure, she came, uh, and that 43 minutes video which she spoke about the entire speech of hers. Every word is so inspiring and motivating, and it is giving a wonderful direction to us also as Mentor My Board to what exactly we are supposed to do as a firm.
definitely. I think it is something that everybody should actually watch, definitely. So please share the
Yes.
link later in our the LinkedIn post. So that will
Sure.
definitely help others also to do that. Now when it comes to leadership and women in leadership, right, if you can share some successful women who are actually excelling at these roles, so that that can also be an inspiration for the audience that is watching.
So, see, the successful women, when I really speak, there are two, three, or in fact, I'll tell you in the speech, finance minister also mentioned that in Nifty 50 companies, you will find those 60, 70 women rotating from one company to another because, probably those companies are not finding more women there, or because, there is, some kind of barrier happening there. Now, when we really speak about those successful women, so I think Arundhati Bhattacharya is there, who has been at the executive position, and now she's also in non-executive independent director position. She's independent director with Reliance Industries. There has been, in fact, we speak about Falguni Nair. She's running her own empire. She is, again, the executive director. There's so many women who are there holding the independent directors position into the Nifty 50 companies. I mean, those all are, the role models for a lot of women who have the aspiration to be independent directors. But again, when I really just, because you're asking about the success stories, I'll tell you, because in our community, we have a lady called Jayanti Taluri. Now, she is from Hyderabad. And, when she came, she joined the community. She was independent director in one company. With her, kind of participation, active role in, the entire community, she's got another opportunity, last year, with the help of Mentor My Board. And this year, she is going to be again in the board of another company which is floated by another group member. So I think, the success comes in when, you're more visible, the network you create, the way you are, kind of showing up, the way you are proactively coming out and speaking about your, kind of uh, the skill sets, and even helping others to, kind of succeed. So when you help others to succeed, you also succeed. So I think this is the wonderful example which I've recently, come across. So
So there, I think you said it right. Like there are only handful of like let's say 60 to
yes,
70. Like that's such a small number, right? But when you
yes,
look at it from a different perspective, women have so much opportunity ahead of them, right? If
yeah,
we train and skill ourselves in the right direction, then we could be up there and get to that 50% very fast. If so,
yes.
what exactly are those skills which are required for women to actually aim for those board positions? Could you put some light on that?
Sure. So I think the number one skill is, the corporate governance skill, because you must know what corporate governance means. See, usually a lot of times professionals like chartered accountants or company secretaries or lawyers may be aware of it, but if there are technical people, if there are, people from human resource, people from, the IT background, they may not be really well versed with the corporate governance skills. So those are very very important skills which everyone should have. Today I think, the new age technology is also very very important skill to have. You must be aware what's happening around you. And
Yeah,
most important skill when I really see for women to succeed at the board level is the networking skills and the communication skills.
okay.
Because, you are known by your network. I mean, as we say, the network is your, I mean, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that, you only generate business out of it. So I'll give you an example. In one of the case, one of the independent director, who was very widely connected to one of the very esteemed institution, and when he joined the company as independent director, when the company was struggling to get right human resource, he immediately with his network connected that company to that institution. And today that company has signed the collaboration with the institution, and they are getting wonderful interns and resource from that institution. So what network you bring to the boardroom is very very important. Again, the next point is the communication. When we talk of the communication, again, board dynamics, when to speak, what to speak, what not to speak, and how to speak. So these are some very very important nuances of the boardrooms. And you simply can't go over, and speak something, and you can't also lot of times can't keep, your mouth shut. So it's a very very different, dynamics and in the boardroom. So you must be very very well versed with right communication skills. And I think imbibing those skills also, becomes very very important. And yeah, I think today also, a lot of companies are looking for the global presence. I mean, what is the global, experience you have, what is the global exposure you have. So those skill sets of having the multicultural, multinational, kind of experiences can also add a lot of value to the boardrooms.
Totally. So how important do you think is mentorship and like having some mentor around you for grooming or training you to actually become board ready? Do you think that's an important aspect as well in finding the right mentor to actually excel in your career path?
See, absolutely. In fact, I think that was my initial thought process, that why not we talk of mentorship at a board level, and that's how Mentor My Board got created. My name also, I mean, the company name, our company name also suggests that. And in fact, I'll tell you, I have been a product of a mentorship. In fact, Mentor My Board came out of mentorship. When I was discussing with my mentor, during that mentorship discussions, we kind of were brainstorming, and you know. That's how, I thought that why not to go into adventure, because I was doing my traditional practice for 15 years. And there were a lot of challenges, as far as the practice is concerned. It's not that easy to run a practice where a lot of compliances, a lot of clients, you have to, again manage a team. So you a lot of times you forget that you are also entrepreneur. And that time, if a right mentor comes in your life, it can be a completely transformational. And when we really talk of mentorship at a board level, I'll give you an example. Recently I read in an article where L&T ex chairman Mr. AM Naik, he mentioned that at this moment he is mentoring 40 plus people for the next level of leadership roles. So a person who is, either into the executive role or into the non-executive role, it is very, very important within the organization or outside the organization. You must have a mentor in your life where you can go. I mean, it acts like a sounding board, right? You know
Right.
that, okay, if I have a difficulty, I can go to this person and ask. But again, there are a lot of ways of structured mentoring. And in fact, on Mentor My Board platform, we have created one-on-one mentoring sessions, group mentoring sessions. So that's, where people are able to reach out to mentors, speak one-on-one. A lot of times, I mean, we go to events, we may not be able to open up, ask our questions directly, but when we go to our mentor, we speak to them, we speak our challenges openly. That's where you start getting the right direction, right solutions to your challenges. And I think when we talk of the board level, a mentor definitely is needed, because see, a person cannot be 100% ready for everything. I mean, the person may be good in HR, may not be good in finance. Person may be good in finance, may not be good in IT. So you need to have the 360-degree understanding of the boardrooms. And I think that's where the role of the mentors who have already experienced, who have already been there, done there, getting those insights from them becomes very, very important.
So I think I picked up a point from that, that mentorship definitely is something which is important.
Yeah.
And having like, if you are already at a leadership role, doing mentorship and having mentees, like 40 plus mentees for such a position, that's something also like giving back to the society in a way, right? And that's what you're
Yes.
doing. I mean, having the giving the access to the network and giving those access to the
Yes.
mentors. Besides, from the company perspective, right, how can they implement a more gender diversity and incorporate more women in the boardrooms? Do we look at some strategies, or can we implement some strategies within the organizations?
Uh, in fact, I'll tell you a very interesting fact which came in one of our conversations with one of our client company. When we spoke to the managing director there, and we asked about the gender diversity, and they were very happily saying that it's almost around 25 to 30%. And when we spoke about the gender diversity at the CXO level, they said it was zero. So exactly the point, that when you have lot of women coming in at a middle level or junior level kind of organization, but how many women are really progressing to the CXO level? And even at the board level, I mean, getting independent directors is fine. I mean, that because it's mandated by law, people will have them as independent women directors on board. But what about the what about the executive women escalating to the boardrooms? I think that's a very, very important kind of area where a lot of corporates really need to look up to and build a very, very strong kind of mentorship within the organization to take more women into the leadership, give them that support. I mean, I was hearing to I think some conversation where ICICI Bank executive. So what they mentioned is, when the women is at a leadership level, and when the woman gets transferred to another location, the company arranges a full-time maid for that employee, the women employee, so that the woman employee is able to perform her role better, even in the new location when she doesn't have a family support. So I think, going beyond what companies are doing for those women at a next level is very, very important. I've been a great fan of Indra Nooyi, and I've always heard that the biological clock and your career path doesn't go hand in hand. It actually is very, very different, and you have to have that balance. You have to have, and that's where the ecosystem has to be created within the organization and outside the organization. When we talk of the outside organization, it needs a very strong network, a strong kind of a sisterhood also should come up. When we talk of within organization, what are the amenities you're giving to those women who are working beyond their capacities, or beyond their kind of the time span, what they're supposed to do. Like, for example, 8 hours is the normal time, 8.5 hours. But if someone is there for 12 hours, are you taking care of that person, or you're taking care of the family of that person, becomes very, very important. So I think, when we talk of the diversity, it's a lot of times a lip singing. It's a lot of times, people keep talking about a lot of good things, but what exactly you're doing in the organization, day in day out, makes very very important difference.
I think the other day when we were talking, I think trainings definitely
Yes,
something that needs to be incorporated within the
absolutely.
organizations, and
Absolutely.
programs need to be introduced, which definitely should help women progress within the organization itself. That's
Absolutely.
definitely also a
That's
need of
where,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that's where we both have to work together, Neha, on that.
Yes, I think everybody watching should watch this space for more definitely new programs and upcoming sessions that we are going to be having together because of so
Absolutely.
much aligned vision. I love the passion that you talk with and the vision that you have. I think when that's in place, things do fall in place for everything else that you do in life. So that's something also very important that
You.
everybody who's watching, I think our most of the network is women who are looking to us, like aspiring to progress in their careers, so it's an inspiration for them also to see so much passion within you and talk about your journey and experiences. Now we are actually almost coming close to the end of the session, so just a couple last questions in terms of if you had to basically share three tips to women in terms of how they can be actually boardroom ready, what would those be?
The 3 points, in fact, I'll tell you, number one is upskill yourself, because at any level, I mean, even if you are pro in your field, you must know other fields, because when you're a director, nobody will say, okay, you didn't know that, because you're presumed to know everything. So upskilling is very very important. Point number two is kind of increase your network, expand your network, keep meeting right people, because you have to be at right time, right place, with right people to get right opportunities. That's very very important. And third is believing in self. So creating, or breaking those mental barriers within ourselves, and there is a complete continuous struggle. I'm sure you also might be going through those struggles at some time. I keep going through those struggles lot of times. So those keeping continuously breaking those barriers in the mind. No, if you feel I can't do that, immediately overpower that statement with I can do it. And I think that though that message keeps me going. So I think those are the three learnings which I'll pass on to everyone here who is watching.
Thank you so much. I think that was a really good session, and we should have many more sessions. And I think everybody watching should be watching this space for new programs that we will be coming up together. So, thanks,
Absolutely.
Divya, and it was great having you here. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Neha, for inviting, and it was indeed pleasure to speak to you, and really really look forward to do a lot of things together.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.